Hello, Chris. How's your Friday? Oh, hi, Shane, Jack, Tracy. I'm just reading a few quick messages here. Oh, I'll have to read them later. Let's see, where do I... I don't know where I was. How was everybody this Friday? Let me open myself up here. Oops. Who was live? Peter? Peter Watt live right now? Come on. Okay, there we go. How you doing, TJ? I must have missed you. Tarantula talks. What do you want to talk about? Oh, Peter's in his shed. Oh, I appreciate that, Shani. I like when people say this is my favorite channel. Makes me feel better about the lack of views I get on my videos. So we had a crazy molt week. Well, crazy molt couple weeks actually. Got some 5 of them right here. All females. We had let's see, the LP molted a couple weeks back. Right, she'll be ready to eat soon. Oh, I don't even have the Bamies molt here. It should be down there. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I accidentally dropped the Bamies molt. This is all that's left of it, by the way. I dropped it. Hey, Vic, how are you? Are you still in South Africa there? April. I've been doing videos since January of 2017, I think. Yeah, 2017. And I made the channel in December of 2016, I believe. A couple more weeks. One month old. How warm was it? You might be ready to yank that thing. I'm gonna be itchy because I was working around some insulation stuff. So, yo, Jack, I've been MIA myself. So many things going on, not just my hair. What the heck? Not just busy, but I've been sick. With my colitis has been acting up for the last couple of weeks, which in turn kicks the myotonic dystrophy into a little bit more of a overdrive, really. And I've been doing a long project at work. It's pretty much, all day long. I get my breaks, of course, but it's a construction job, so I don't get the little breaks in between when the machines aren't running or when the machines aren't breaking. Right now I'm working all the time, so I got about 4 or 5 more days maybe till that's all finished. I'll post some pictures if I can. I'm not sure I can. I mean, it should be able to because it's not really anything out on the floor production wise. I should be able to post some pictures of some stuff that I did, but I'll have to ask them to make sure it's not bad. Yeah, it's hard to say, I mean, now we have updates on the pulcher. I don't know if I had mentioned it before. If I mentioned, some of you guys already know, but my Thermopes pulcher female, I went to pull the sack on day 32, and she was out at the top of her web tunnel on day 30. I sprayed her that day, so I just assumed she was coming out to get a drink. Well, when I went to pull the egg sac on day 32, there was no egg sac, so she ate that. How you doing, Andrew? She ate the egg sac, so we're again without an egg sac. But I don't know. It's the way it goes. We'll try again. Hopefully the Homoioma chilensis, by the grace of God, got impregnated. Went with her real quick pairing, but it might be a little while before we get anything here paired. We might try the Nandu Colorado Velocis again, but I don't know. So here, I don't know if you guys will be able to. Oop. Yeah, that was just a baby molt. Can you guys see? I just threw these all on here this morning because my Simulpaeus Victoria, who's right here in the middle, molted. Female, 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 female. Female, 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 female. Yeah, so Nandu Colorado Velocis. Lasiodora parabona. This is the size of what they were. Comparison. See how much of a bulkier spider this gal was? This spider's bigger now than this one is. She didn't really get any longer. Maybe a little bit, but not much longer. But this is the Simulpaeus Victoria. That's a female. This is the Monocentropus belfori that I have left. This one's a female. And this is the Ornithoctinae species Prison de Abuelas. That's a female. I knew all of them were female except the M. belforia. I suspected it, but I wasn't positive. The Ornithoctinae species Prison de Abuelas right now is on the tarantula community for an auction for the Tarantula Keepers Coalition. So if you guys, if anybody's on that group and you want to go check out the auctions, go check them out. There's one for an H. villicella. I think that I put a little bid on because I'd really like to get a handful of those, and then that lady right now. So yeah, that's just the stuff that's, these guys, the Belfori molted first, then the LP, then the Ornithoctinae. Oh, we don't want that. My spray bottle tipped over. I don't want water all over my bed. The Victoria was last night, and then the Nandu Colorado Velocis was, I don't know, 5 or 6 days ago. She's stunning. We'll do an update video with her. I'm going to try and film tonight, actually, because tomorrow's a very busy day. I don't think I'll be home very much. I'm going to go visit my mom after her back surgery, and then we have a fundraiser for the girls' softball for Haley in high school. So we'll be pretty much on the go tomorrow, and then Sunday will be relaxed day, finally. Yeah, it does kind of suck that the Pulcher ate her eggs, but you know how it is. That's just the way it is. Not much I can do about it. Yeah, she'll keep thickening it. When she starts thickening it, if she continually thickens it, then the babies are going to be ready to come out relatively quickly. So, I mean, I personally think that all of them should be left with mom. It's just a matter of how hard it is for you to get them all out of there. You know, with an AVIC, it wouldn't be so bad. You know, with my Pulcher, it probably would have been a little bit more of a struggle. But the babies are still kind of quick, and mom will still try to defend them a little bit. I don't like what the heck's going on in my hair here. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'd leave them in there. That'd be my advice, but especially that first one, you know, that's kind of what I wanted to do. But yeah, so I don't even know who I'm going to breed next. I don't want to breed my Pulcher or female again because you know, she did lay an egg sac, and I don't know that I really want. I mean, she may lay a second one. They do double clutch, so I'm kind of hoping that she does. Yeah, I don't know who else. I mean, my Brachypelma hamori I could breed right now, but my male's not old enough, and my double pelosum could breed right now, but my male's not old enough, and I don't know that I want to breed those. The Colorado Velocis, but she's going to need a little bit of time, and I don't know that I want to breed her either because I don't want to deal with 800 plus babies. My A. Frankie molted. I can't find the molt, but I know she molted because she's a tad bit bigger and she's not as dull as she was. Yeah, so there really isn't anybody right now. I mean, my GBB could probably be molted, or paired again, but she's another one. She laid an egg sac and ate it relatively quickly after she laid it, and I don't know that I can repair them that quickly. You know, I've never really looked into that. If they eat an egg sac and they be paired relatively quickly after, or do we need to wait for them to molt again? But yeah, that Colorado velocis is big, Vic, but it's a five. This little, if you measure from the front to the back, just this way, and if this, I wish we would just measure them this way. If you measure from here to here, from the front of this leg to the back of this leg, she's, in a regular position, she's about a little over 5 inches. This gal right here was a little bit over 4.5 right here, I think, but she's probably over 6.5 inches right now. She's stretched out. She was huge, but diagonal leg span of her was 6 inches of the Nandu Colorado velocis. I don't know, like I said, you guys can't, you're stuck with my light, but yeah. So, yeah, our water was off today because they had to do some digging, so I had to shut my hot water tank off. I didn't want to burn up the coils with no water in there, so I just turned that back on, and then I found my picture. Look, this is my grandparents. This my grandmother just died January 1st, and my grandfather died, I can't remember how long ago, 13 years ago, 14 years ago. The picture was over there. I got this from the funeral home when I was there. We need to hang that up, but yeah. So yeah, it's gonna be a busy day tomorrow, but Sunday's gonna be a little bit less. Let's see, where am I at here? Okay, we got that one. Fossorial, yeah, I have a ton of them, Andrew. A ton of fossorial species in my collection. All my baboons. What do I have? Upwards in the neighborhood of 30, I think, baboons. So you count all those. A lot of my brackies are still, Brachypelma are fossorial, whether people want to believe it or not. They live underground, but most of mine aren't underground, except for my Shortdairy and my Kallenbergie likes to live underground. But we have my Asian species of, I think, 6 kilo brackies. My Ornithoctinae, not Ornithoctinae, Orphanacus species Panay Blue. We have the Ornithoctonus oreotibialis. There's a bunch of them. Most of my collection is actually fossorial. I'm going to add tarantulas to your building. Is that what? And I'm going to do tarantula care sheet videos. What I recommend, just I'm not telling you not to do it, but what I recommend, if you're going to do tarantula care sheet videos, make sure 100% that whatever you say online is completely correct. Don't go to care sheets online to make care sheets on YouTube, because it doesn't work out. Most of your care sheets online are old, outdated. People don't believe the information anymore. You need to go to people that have been in the hobby for a long time and get information to get these care sheets right. So I don't do a bunch of them. I only do species-specific videos, not really care sheets, but just an informational video, how I keep them, what they're like in the wild, where they come from, stuff like that. I hate to give wrong information and then somebody do something wrong and kill a T, or whatever it may be. I'm very, very careful with information here, presenting it this way. You have to be. I don't know how long you've kept them. I'm not saying not to do it, but it's just, again, just advice. Hey BC, how are you? It's been a long time since I've seen you, actually. Unfortunately, I don't watch snake videos very often, so I am so far behind in videos, it's sickening. I mean, literally, I can't believe, how many videos just some of my friends have put out since the last time I've actually watched videos. It's crazy. I think I watch maybe 2 or 3 videos a week anymore. I just don't have time. Once winter lets up here and spring starts to go, baseball's going to be going on for Alex, and then Haley's got softball, so there'll be even less time to do all that stuff. Yeah, I hear you, Bill. It's insane, the amount of stuff that's going on. Oh yes, Ephobophus are considered fossorial, absolutely. I have the Moranus, the Cyanomathus, the Udaman, and then I have 2 Rufusins. The Rufusins can play either way. Actually, I'm going to set up, when I rehouse this, the larger one, I'm going to set it up in an Exoterra and give it, a sloped dirt in the back, and then like cork bark, because they will have sometimes arboreal tendencies. I'd like to see what it does. I don't know if I can do it. I have to do it in like a bugarium or something that doesn't open in the front. But yeah, I'm going to try something different with the rufescens. But definitely Ephebopus is considered a fossorial genus. Yeah, so spider-wise, there's not a ton going on. We'll have the Ornithoctinae species prison day of Wellis will be sold as of 9, I think 9:10 Central Standard Time today. I don't know what the bid's up to. It was like 200 and some odd dollars when last time I looked. But so we'll have the basketball cube open when she goes. So it's going to be a matter of who do I want to put in there. I have no idea, honestly. I still have the big critter keeper that I'm still debating on who I want to put in there. I was going to probably an arid species that'll go in the critter keeper, because I don't have to worry about humidity and all those ventilation holes. I don't want to block anything off. So most likely will be something like, I may even put my OBT in there, my adult female. I think she may end up in there. Either that or my Eupalaestrus campostratus was a candidate to go in there. The other one has my E. murinus, and I think that enclosure is actually a little bit too big for her. She uses it, actually. She's all over the place lately, but the lengthwise, you don't need that length with an Ephebopus. The depth is good, but you don't need that long length with them. You basically need something, thin like this, and then tall, and then, like yay long would be perfectly fine. But yeah, so I have some rearranging that I need to do desperately. I got to order some more red runners. I don't have too many adults, so the adults have been dying off, and the little ones have been eating them. So, and I just fed a bunch of them the other day, but I got tons of dubia because I never use them, except for the big, the big ones. I like the big adult dubias for them. You'll see that with the LP when we do the first feeding with her. She'll get a big dubia. So will the Nandu Colorado velocis. Probably the Brachypelma Bamey. She's ready to eat. My Monocentropas belforii is probably going crazy. We'll probably try to film her tonight, feeding, and a couple other females tonight. But I do have another video that's not done. The video's not put together yet, but I have, I don't know, 10 or 12 clips. It's probably over 20 minutes. It's another feeding video of just random stuff. So I'll try to put that out Sunday night or so. I'm trying to keep my videos spread apart a little bit, because it seems when I put them too close together, the views are atrocious. When I wait like a week or a week and a half between feeding videos and the views, I mean, for me, if I get 300 to 500 views in 2 weeks' time, I'm thrilled. But it seems like I keep getting stuck on that 270 to 300 views roughly in a couple weeks' time, and then over the course of time, they go up. I still haven't had a video reach more than 10K views yet, which is kind of depressing. I got to figure out how to get into the algorithm with YouTube. I don't know what it is that I need to do. Oh man, you know what? I have 2 Pyramenias. They're going to need to be rehoused real quick by Victoria. Victoria needs to be rehoused. It depends on what you have them in, Bill. That would be, I'm going to do a video again of how I rehouse spiders, which is the safest way for both them and me. I don't just do open container to open container unless they're a slow moving terrestrial species. Generally, like this is, you could use this for scale. Okay, so this is a 50 gram vial. So if I have a Poecilotheria, my Metallica is in this, so she's going to be going for a ride here, or to a new owner soon. So what I do is, instead of trying to just get it out of this into something else, I have this vial here. It's got holes here and it's got holes on the bottom. So I'll take the lid off like this, and then get her up into this one, with like a stick like this. So let's take this lid off. So I could take the stick and move it in here, and then, I could get her to do whatever I want. Once I get her up here, then we slide the lid on, and then I have pieces of plexiglass. Let me see if I have. Here's one. I have things like these. Okay, this is for like a 32-ounce deli cup or 16-ounce deli cup. I don't remember what I drilled this one for, and then this one's for like this. Okay, so you can see how that works. And I also have some that just have a bunch of holes in them, and some, and I'm building ones that'll have this size hole drilled in a bigger one in different places, so that I can use that as a way of putting them into whatever enclosure, whatever larger enclosure I want to. But that's how I generally will do it. It's no different with a deli cup or anything else like that. I try to do vial to vial and then close them off. They'll settle in that enclosure, you know, the one that you're moving into. Especially your arboreals. It seems that arboreal and your Asian species especially. That's the safest way. It's less stress for them. It's less stress for you. It's pretty much bulletproof. There's also the bag method. There's you could get them into like a longer plastic bag. You know, just kind of put the bag over top of your enclosure and put this on the side, and then coax them up into that bag and close the bag off. They'll be perfectly fine in there, and then open the bag back up, put it over your other enclosure, or just take your old enclosure, stick it in your new one if there's enough room. It's really, it all depends on you and your room and where you're doing it. Here I don't do a lot of open transfers because I don't want them to get out here in this bedroom, so I'll never find them. So if you have an open area, and you're like maybe moving from a deli cup into a Exoterra or something like that, then I would probably just open the Exoterra doors and then take the deli cup, get her, you know, try to coax her out of the deli cup and straight into there. Armenias are like lightning, so they'll pander around for a little bit, and then next thing you know, they're like over here. So you got to be careful. They are quick. How you doing, Ian? Yeah, I'm okay. I don't want to say that I'm great, but I'm okay. Yes. Well, yes and no, Trace. It depends. If you keep them warm, I think you can generally pull a drawer sack between 20 to 24 days. The Ori sack that I had was at 27 days when she abandoned it, and they were eggs with legs at that. But I didn't keep her super warm. She was in a somewhat of a she was in an aquarium with some other small slings that needed to be kept warm, and there was a heat pad on the side of it. But yeah, some of them you can't. I mean, it depends on, again, it depends on how warm you keep mom and how often you spray her. A lot of times I've seen people pull egg sacs at day 18 with eggs with legs. I don't know how they do it, but they do it. At least that's what they're saying anyway. I mean, I haven't physically been there with someone dropped an egg sac, and 18 days later I was there when they opened it, but a lot of people say that they've done it. So yeah, I mean, yeah, I would say just a little bit quicker, but not necessarily. Yeah, March Madness was great for you, but it was murder for me. That was rough. I didn't even consider it this year. I mean, I'd like to do at least a video a week, but it is very difficult with my schedule right now to even try and do that. And I don't want to make promises because I promised to do a bunch of different things and I've never come through with anything that I've ever promised to do. I haven't even done the Surat Jar Starlingi video that I was supposed to do for Deb for the my viewer or subscriber video. So I got to get that done so I can do the video that you wanted me to do. But I got to the axolotl needs to be moved into a different aquarium. So Haley needs to clean up her room so that we can get a different aquarium and put it in there. But yeah, so that may be delayed a little bit. I want to watch those videos, Ian, bad, but I just haven't had time. I want to watch them. I could sit down and just watch them. Oh, so you have a front opening 1/24th die-cast car thing, probably with a hinge door, right? Oh, man. when I pulled my Victory, well, not my Victory, but my Polker out of that, um, I just opened the door. I let the door sit on the ground. I pulled out whatever I could, and I just put a cup over top of her. She was relatively. She gave me a couple threat postures because she didn't really want me in there, but once I got her cork bark out, she just sat on the side, and it was pretty easy. So that would be my recommendation. But do it someplace where you don't. If she does get out, it's not going to be too big of a deal. I know that sometimes people don't have that situation. You may have that with your, in your Python room, maybe. But definitely don't want her to get behind any of your big enclosures or anything. So, yeah, I rehoused the Poecilotheria sapusca and my Pulcher out of those. They're not 1/24th; they're 1/18th scale is what I used for those two. Probably my Victoria is going to go in one of those. I don't know. She's going to be a beautiful female, so I probably will get her an Exoterra. At least I think that's what I'm going to do. No, I'm not too far behind here. Yeah. Yeah, well, Trace, yeah, yours are a little laid back. Wait till that GBB gets a little bit bigger, and you gotta get that one into another enclosure. Those they're a little bit unpredictable and pretty quick too. So yeah, Bill, that's another thing you could do. I mean, I don't know if that's what trait or sorry if that was what Shani meant there by getting a 20-gallon long. But if you have a longer aquarium, you could put her enclosure in there and then coax her into that. Block off maybe half of it, get her into that, and then work with her in there because you'll have a little bit more room. Once they get out of their enclosure, sometimes they will just freeze up because it's like foreign territory to them. Some spiders will keep running, like OBTs will run until they find someplace that they're comfortable. But a lot of arboreals will bolt to a certain point and then they will stop when they find someplace that relatively quickly where it's comfortable. So in a big aquarium like that, even if you put the aquarium on its side, so it's this height, or put it down this way and block off half of it, put the die cast enclosure in there, and then just coax the spider so that it goes into the aquarium. Then you can cup her. And it's a lot easier to work with a deli cup in like the Dreamco plastic things, or in these Exoterras or stuff like that. It's easier to work with those. Oh, the axolotl. I don't know that she's got room for a 20-gallon yet. Um, I think that we're going to should probably. I don't think it's big or too small to go in a 5-gallon for right now. Um, Either going to be in a 5 or a 10-gallon. I don't know that she has room in her room for a 20-gallon. She's got a big plastic bin in there for her Russian tortoise, and she's got the smallest room here. So yeah, I didn't really have too much problems when I got my female GBB in and I took apart her enclosure. I got her right into a deli cup pretty easily. Um, then reset up everything, and I probably want to do it again just because I hate to because it's looking really nice in there, but I hate that damn background. Those foam backgrounds. I wished I would have taken that out and just went and got the inserts for that enclosure. I like the flat cork better than that. I just don't like the looks of those, and I don't know. I'm hoping that she molts soon, or yeah, I'd like to see her molt soon so that I can actually try and get a male in here. Because I actually paired her, and she paired well, and right around 2.5 months she laid the egg sac, but it was like she laid it and then ate it. So I don't know if she wrapped it. There was some remnants of thick web all over the place, and she was way thinner than what I saw days before. So we know that she ate it. That was a rough one. The Pulcher was the worst. That one really disappointed me. Oh, you mean the molt getting stuck? No, that's not a husband. It just happens. It probably happens way more than people realize it does. You know, and you get bigger collections that you may have a spider molt and you don't really know it for a week because you don't get to all of them daily. I can't see these guys every single day. I would spend you know most of my evening after work pulling spider by spider down here. I just don't have time for that. So um, I knew the Victoria was going to molt. She didn't look like it, but I knew she was going to molt because I fed her the other day and she didn't eat. And I took her down today this morning just to get a quick look at her, and I saw her legs were really that shiny translucent look. So, and there was the molt sitting right next to her, and the red runner still running around in there, which I'm not worried about that red runner at all. But yeah, I'll let her harden up. She'll end up eating that thing, and then we'll put her in an exoterra. I really, she was one of those ones I definitely wanted in something really, really nice. So, yeah. But these guys back here, a couple of these guys are going to need new enclosures, so they'll get, like a 1/24th scale maybe, or something just a tad bit bigger. We'll have to see. Collenbergi needs moved, and my Rubronitins also needs moved. I got a lot. I got a lot that need to be rehoused. Oh, that's good. But now you got to watch this. This is the hard part, Ian. When those pseudoclamaris, those gigases, they seem to be fine, and then like they molt, and then like 3 or 4 days later you find them passed away. At least I have. I've had shit luck with those that genus. Period. None of them. The T. violacellus, the T. capruis that I had, the Caribbean diamond. I don't know what the hell all these are right now. And then the handful of T. gigases that I've had, or P. gigases now, I've not got one of them past 1.5 inches. It really, really upset me because they used to be avicularia, and they're Salmopaeanae right now, so that their care shouldn't be too much more or different between them. And I haven't had problems with Salmopaeanae, and I haven't had problems with avicularia either. But I've had tons of problem with the Pseudoclimaris and the Tapenakinius for some odd reason. Yeah. So yeah, I don't. I just was the last. This was just a whim. I decided to go live. It's just me and Lynn here. She's got to make a bunch of macaroni salad for tomorrow's um, fundraiser thing. So she's going to be busy. And Eric has the van with Haley. He's at cross country practice, and then they're coming home. I don't know what they're doing, but I figured I'd go live for a couple hours till he got home today, because I wanted to do it tomorrow, in the morning, but I don't think I'm gonna have time. So I figured I'd get on right away, see if we can get some of the UK people over here, and I think all we have is Ian. Right now, I know that Rachel said she'll be in soon, I think. Yeah, I, I hope it does keep going that way, Ian. They're beautiful. I mean, if I find a P. gigas juvenile female, I would buy it, because I just absolutely love them. They remind me so much of the Salmopaeus poker, but I would need one that's 2.5 inches, and already well into its life cycle. I will not do slings again of those, unless it's a freebie from somebody. I will not spend money on slings of those again. Hopefully I'll have my 3 Arpactira poker piece slings in next week, the ones I got in the auction. I don't want to say 100%, but yeah, she's close. I don't think she's doing therapy anymore. I don't know that's ever going to be right. I mean, she broke tendons or ligaments or whatever. I mean, literally, and she didn't tear them in half. They broke, whatever that means. But I think she favors it still a little bit more. I think she will for a while. I don't think she completely is walking the same way she used to. So I'm sure other things are going to start hurting her, or have been hurting her since then. Yeah, freebie I would take, but yeah, I definitely wouldn't buy another one. We'll see when I go to Buffalo. That's We don't generally get too many vendors that sell spiders in Buffalo. Arachnoidin will be there. And then there's a couple reptile vendors. Ruth's not coming this year, so our two main spider ones, only one's going to be there. And there wasn't much in the juvenile or adult range for sale, other than some captive breds, or not captive bred, wild caught stuff from some of those reptile breeders. And yeah, so I don't know that I'll find one. And if I find one, I want to be there. I want to see it. I don't want to order it, unless it's somebody I know that's been raising it. But yeah, my H Bulkapes is in pre-molt. She may have molted already. I don't know. She was pretty huge the other day. Well, last week, 2 weeks ago, I think I saw her. So yeah, that's why she wasn't in the African feeding video. I think I said that, but I'm waiting for my Darlingi to molt, but she keeps eating. I don't know what's. I figured she would have molted by now. Her next molt should be a mature molt for her. So hopefully, those males are usually pretty easy to find, but they probably won't be easy to find when I need them. That's the way it usually goes for me. I did have somebody that was interested in sending me a piece of Therius Flusca, but I haven't heard back from them, so I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I have three coming. Three H Bulkapees coming. Little ones. They're from Jeepers Creepers. Actually, he's the one that donated them. So Ray, he donated them. I talked to him yesterday that he was getting the label sent to him, and said he was going to feed them last night, and then he would let me know this weekend what day would be good this coming week to send them out. So, and then I got, I think the 13th somewhere. That's around the 20th or so of April. I'll get my other stuff that I ordered a while ago. Bunch of baboons, ones that I don't have yet. So that's going to be a lot of fun. Yeah, take it easy, Bill. Were you selling at Tinley, or did you just go for fun? Everybody wanted me to go, but it's just too far away for me to go. Same thing with St. Louis. Everybody wants me to go to St. Louis, but with the way that my relationship is with certain people, there'd be no way in God's green earth that I would go there. It's kind of funny because I think there's some other strained relationships that are going on too. Yeah, it's probably more fun, huh? Just shopping and doing some videoing, and I'd like to do a vlog when we go to Buffalo, but there's just so many people. I don't know. I don't feel comfortable doing it. I was going to do it here in Erie, and then I realized how small the show was. It wouldn't have been worth it. Well, you take it easy. Get caught up on what it is that you gotta get caught up on, and enjoy the weekend, Bill. The four little ones are doing okay. Um, I don't see them very often. I do see number two. I don't remember which name I gave number two. I'd have to look it up, but I do see that one more than I'd like to, actually. That one seems to like moisture. It likes water. It wasn't doing real good. I thought it was dead, to be honest with you, last week. Last week or early this week. I don't remember when it was that I saw it, but it looked like it was dead to me. And so I kind of coaxed it, and it took off, and I was running around the enclosure. So I mean, it was running and moving fine. So I sprayed water in there, and it went absolutely crazy for the water. My other ones, they don't really care for it. This one, for some odd reason, I don't know. This one likes water, so I got to be very, very careful with it and make sure that I'm keeping up with it. But yeah, they're doing well. The Kagomas, one of them molted. I'm not sure about the other one. That one's been down the burrow for a while. And the Mykumis, I saw both of those the other day. One of those molted, probably the other one too. And I mean, if you watch the African video, see I don't think you get to see the slings. I think just one. We had one sling takedown, but you can see the tetes. I didn't you get to see the Mozambiques. They're both in pre-mold apparently, but yeah, they're all doing well. Um, so far so good with the little ones. I need them to molt one or two times before I start my experiment that I want to do with them. It's too hard to do now. They're so small. I want them to be able to, the one that does worms, I want them to be able to at least take down, a little tiny worm on their own. Um, I don't want to have to worry about cutting it up because it doesn't really work for what I want to do. So, okay, later on, Bill. Have fun. Yeah, I hate crowds, Jack. Absolutely despise crowds. I don't even like groups of 10 people. It's just I don't. Sometimes I'm even uncomfortable around people I know. So I think that's a longer one too. I don't even know how long that video was. I filmed it. I filmed the first bunch of feedings, and then I filmed the African, the baboons, and I decided to put the baboon one out first because I think it was a little bit longer than the other one was, and I thought that would pique people's interest more. When you throw a baboon feeding video out there, people love baboons. So I figured that would it's doing okay. I mean, the video is doing a little bit better than some of my other ones have over the course of a few days. But we'll see how the other one does. I think the update video is going to be good because it's going to have some of the bigger spiders in it, and we'll try and feed the GBB and definitely the LP and the albiceps and my Brachypelma humori female, and it'll be a bunch of big tarantulas, my bigger ones, not the slings. I just suck at doing sling feeding videos. Yeah, I don't blame you, Jack. I'm just not a huge fan of crowds. I think I mean, I feel it's not self-conscious. I just don't feel comfortable around that many people, and I also think that being around that many people, there's so many people that are disrespectful of other people at, personal space and just pushing you out of the way, and they have to be first, and it's just, yeah, it is. That's just that's why I don't like going to expos, to be honest with you. And the Erie one here is bad enough. There's not a lot of people, but it's small, so it seems like a lot of people. The Buffalo one is pretty busy for the venue that it's at. Um, Even in the main ballroom, it's still pretty busy, so it's hard to get to places and look. Especially, I mean, people go to these things mainly for snakes and geckos, and I think those are the two main things really. Um, so there's not a lot of spider stuff, but it seems like when there is, people are drawn to it for some reason. Like they just want to stand there and look at it. Where I want to look at to possibly purchase, they just want to look at it and say, "Oh, look at that thing, we should kill it," stuff like that. But yeah, so I don't go to a lot. Hello, Rach. How are you? How you doing, JP? Yeah, I heard Peter was doing a shed video. Well, I realized that I would have waited a little bit longer, but the longer I wait, the later it is for you guys over there. So I thought I'd do this for just a couple hours here. It's 4 o'clock my time, so we'll probably be right around 5ish is when we'll finish and the kids get home. And so yeah, now Rachel, you could tell everybody a story of how they all need to listen to me because I'm very, very smart. See you later, Chris. Yeah, he calls it a shed. I haven't really seen it yet, so I was showing everybody my molts for the last couple of weeks of my females. You guys want to see them? I don't know if you got. I don't know if Ian was even in here. These are the ones that I pinned these this morning real quick because my Simulcast Victoria molted. So let's see how close you are. There they are. These are all female spiders right here. So we have Monocentropas belfori molted about 2.5 weeks ago. She is probably desperate to eat. This is the Ornithoctone species Prison de Abuelas. Right now, this one's being auctioned off on the Tarantula Community Group for the Tarantula Keepers Coalition Fund. Now this is the Simulpaeus Victoria. She molted last night. This is the LP right here. And this is my Nandu Colorado Velocis. So the Nandu molted about 5 or 6 days ago. She molted about a week and a half or so ago. Last night, about a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks ago, and then about two and a half weeks ago for those ones. I just threw them all together to do this video. I was going to actually do it, put them in the update. They will be in the update anyway, the update video, but I pinned them so that we can film them that way. Well, that's good. You know, it's always good when they eat, especially after molt. You know, you have to get me some really good pictures of the front of that tarantula. Okay, so like if you're looking at the tarantula like this, if you get me some really good pictures this way, and then some really close up pictures of the legs. I want to look at the chelicerae on that because the way the coloration looks, it almost wants me to believe that that's a Brachypelma smithi and not a Brachypelma humori. But the pictures, the way the angles were and the lighting was a little bit hard to tell for sure. So when you get an opportunity to do that, get real close up pictures of the chelicerae and the legs, especially the patellas. With light that's not going to wash it out, but is going to not enhance it either. Just the coloration, because it seems like yours is the chelicerae are almost all black, where humori have like a grayish band that comes down to. I think I did a video of this, and I have pictures of them somewhere. The difference between smithi and humori, but the humori have like on their patella they have like a little streak of black, and they have more whitish hair, where smithis are lack that a little bit. So I'd like to see close-up pictures of that one. You might have an actual smithy and not a humori, but odds are it's a humori. But I would like to try and figure it out. Yeah, yours, right? Yours. Well, Holly's, not yours. Well, is it yours and not Holly's? You don't have to rush, just, when you get a good opportunity. Yeah, I'll be here for another hour or so, maybe. I definitely have to... Where is this one? This one here. This is the Plesiopelma species Bolivia. I don't know how well you're going to be able to see. Let's see if we... no, it can't work either. Anyway, you can see this stuff, all this spot stuff, it's all mold. So we're going to get her out of there. I wanted to do this the other day, and I just didn't get an opportunity. It's all right down here in her burrow. It's not anywhere else, in the back of the enclosure or anywhere. It's all in here. So she's still small, so she's still small enough that she can go back in one of these. So I'll just clean out one of my ones that are over there, give her something different. The different substrates I use, the jungle mix, and then give her some kind of wooden hide or something. She does like to dig like a U, just like that. That's what she's done on both enclosures that she's been in. So that's my goal for tonight, is to at least get her rehoused after all this, and then we'll see about filming. I don't know. Jack, are you on the Tarantula Community Facebook group? I don't have a diverse piece. I've never had a diverse piece, but I know a couple people that have them. They are pretty colorful. The patterning, I shouldn't say really colorful, but the patterning is pretty consistent all the way to adult size. So I've never seen one in person. I've never even seen a sling in person. So, but if you're part of the Tarantula Community Facebook group or some other Facebook groups, I would just ask for a request and say, does anybody have a picture of their adult or juvenile wide diverse peas, and people put them on there for you, and then you'll have. It's better than Googling because you know that the question you're asking someone is being answered directly by somebody, instead of somebody putting something on Google that just happened to pop up somewhere that they didn't know what they had. You know what I'm saying? It's a little bit better that way. Yeah. Check it out. I mean, if you don't mind Facebook groups, that's the one that I started with my two friends. So they're really laid back, pretty easygoing group. A lot of information and a lot of helpful people there. I guarantee you that somebody will have a wide, diverse piece, pictures for you, at least to look at. Thirsty today. Yeah, this place is a disaster. I need to spend time and reorganize this room. It is a mess. Mess. I was just thinking about that today. I went on my podcast thing, and I was like, well, I haven't done one since I think the 28th of February. So that would be my goal for Sunday while I'm kicked back doing much of nothing, is to pick a topic and do a podcast on Sunday. I'm not sure what I want to do yet, though. I have a list of titles, but I don't really remember. I don't remember them off the top of my head, and nothing's really popping in my mind. So the thing with podcasts is I've listened to Tom's, and Tom's can be very informational as far as specific information on things. Like he did I think the beginner and intermediate and an expert thing, and again, but it's all opinion based and experience based. So that's the good part about doing a podcast, is that you're getting everything that's happened to me. So I want to make sure that whatever it is I'm doing, a lot of times I could just probably turn on the podcast and just start talking about, but I'd rather have a topic to go with, and I'm not quite sure what topic I want to do. I might go back to the one that I did a podcast for, and it got screwed up. The data got mixed up somehow, or infected with when it was uploaded. I think only one or two people listened to it, and it was real cracky, and it wasn't because I listened to it and it was perfectly fine listening to it, but something happened in the transfer, so I got rid of it. And that was like, the popular tarantulas in the hobby and why they're popular. So I might revisit that one because I know a couple people like Mark Horsfall wanted to listen to that one, and he was interested in that topic. So that might be something that I consider. That was another thing I wanted to do once a week, was a podcast. And I was like, if I can do one decent video a week and one podcast a week, then I would be doing good. So that would be roughly 52 videos a year and 52 podcasts a year. That would be, a pretty good number, and the odd extra video here or there, whatever. But I mean, I need to go back to the tarantula tour. There's just so much stuff I need to do, and I have to buckle down and say, okay, we're just going to do this today. And this camera's got a lot more space, so I can film more things and store them, where my other camera I couldn't. That camera, I'd have to film, and I could film so many clips, and then that was it. And once you got to a certain point, I had to upload those clips. And if I had one clip too many, I'd have to clear space on the phone somehow, and I had to delete apps and all kinds of crap before. This phone's got a lot more space on it. And I got a huge, I think there's a 64 gig, is that what I put in there, 64 gig memory card. And then the phone itself is 32 gigs. So there's quite a bit of space that I can film stuff and then, store them and then upload them later. So yeah, I'm hoping to do one Saturday, or Sunday. Sorry, Sunday would be my goal. And I'm not real big into the AVIX. I like them. Don't get me wrong. I think they're cool, and I think maybe if I would have got more into them before, I probably wouldn't have got into some of the things that I'm into, because there's so many different ones that you can get into, and the whole Aviculariinae, subfamily. So Eubarapora, the Carabina, and then the Avicularia. I mean, I have two Marinae, but one of those is going to a friend of mine, Julian, because he lost his, and it's one that he's been looking for. So I'm gonna send him one of my slings. And I have two of the Uranensis Morph Type 2, and then my Avic species. I don't know what it is. and then the Carabina lata, and the Iridipalma hieristum. That's part of the Avicularia family too. So that's really all I have. I don't really intend to get any more, other than if someone came to me and said, "Hey, I have a young juvenile female Arufa for you," I would take it, but I don't think that I would anything else. The Variegattas are pretty cool, and there was another one that's like a greener one. I can't remember what it was, but I was supposed to get those instead of Uranensis, but the import didn't work out, so I got those instead. Um, yeah, some of the other ones, the Purpurea are nice, but I mean the Uranensis are purple too, so I don't really don't really need them. I'm not a huge arboreal guy anyway, so. Yeah, a lot of people have said that to me. The podcasts are perfect, and the time frames have been pretty good. I'd like to do a longer one. Like Tom Rand's last one. Well, the one that last time I listened to was the intermediate and the beginner and the advanced. That one was a pretty long one. I think 45 or 50 minutes. So I would like, but I'd like to do a 1 hour podcast. Like maybe once every other month, just do a real long one. And I like to do the funny things too. So like the last one I did was kind of somewhat comedic. So I'd like to mix that in a little bit too, just so it's not so crazy. That one is not done very well though. I don't know if it was the title itself, because it didn't really say anything about tarantulas, but I don't know. It only had 46 views, which is the other ones have done much better, quicker than that one has. So I may have to revisit what I did in that one. I don't film all that often. A lot of time what I do, and quite honestly, I don't save my videos. What I do right now is I film, I do whatever small editing I'm going to do, and then I upload. If Once they're uploaded onto YouTube, I will go back through and I will cut down to do the quick hit videos that I do, or the best of videos. So I may take a 2-minute video and cut it down to 12 seconds, and I store those, and then I delete everything else. I don't keep any videos. I don't. I'm just not one of those people that feel the necessity to. I go back on YouTube and pull them back off if I need to. So yeah, I don't really keep anything. There's even some of the breeding stuff that I've done. When the Homo yomachuensis ate the male, I didn't save that. I should have, because I've had a few people ask me if they could borrow that video. I said, well, you're gonna have to get it off YouTube because I didn't keep it. So yeah, I don't store anything. So I don't transfer things onto my laptop. Um, if everything was the same, if if what I used on my phone was the same as what I used on the computer, and it was all easy, I probably would do all my editing on the computer and nothing on my phone. I would just film from my phone and then transfer them over. But because that computer's got like 128 gig memory. I think it's even more than that actually. It might be 207 gig. I can't remember. There's nothing on it. There's hardly anything on it. So, but I can't put this Viva video on. I tried. I don't know what it is. And editing stuff from here to there. I know how to do this. You know what I mean? I know how to use my Viva video. I've been using it for 2 years. It's comfortable for me. I, I may not have all the bells and whistles that some of the other people can do, but it's comfortable for me. And I don't have the time to sit down and learn um, the other videos. I mean, the kids are going to college, so I can get the Premiere, the Adobe Premiere, and the Adobe Photoshop and stuff for a college rate. So what I would pay would be just a couple dollars a month for them, and I may do that, but I don't know. I just like doing what I'm doing here, and that may be why my views are a little bit lower than other people's are. But that's just convenience for me. I guess I'm being selfish. Where am I at here? Yeah, Jack, I don't know. I mean, I used to think that way, really, to be honest with you. I used to steer people away from simultaneity, especially Armenia and Cambridge. I used to steer people away from them and say, hey, you're better off getting a Poecilotheria before you get those, because these Poecilotheria are they're more timid and shy, and they will want to hide instead of, Armenia is one of the most unpredictable spiders that I've ever owned. Um, but I don't anymore. If I mean, if you feel uncomfortable, if you have any doubts, then don't do it. I would wait. But if you're that one of those people that are asking, hey, I'm thinking about getting this, I feel pretty comfortable doing it, but I've never had any other arboreals, I would say go ahead and do it. Because the hardest part about them is transferring them. You know, so a lot of people, what they'll do is once they get an Armenia to a 2-inch size, they'll put them in their final enclosure at 2 inches, and that's where they'll stay. You don't have to ever transfer them again. So I wouldn't hesitate to go that route. And again, to me, Poecilotheria are easy to keep, easier to deal with than some Simulpaeanae or Simulpaeus, the genus itself. So you consider that. Yeah, I thought about transferring every video onto my computer, but you have to understand that here's the deal. I never had a job that I really had to use a computer. Okay, it's just been for personal use, so I never really learned how to do all the stuff in computers. So creating files and stuff like that, I really honestly don't know how to do much of that stuff. So I would have to learn all that stuff to, and then have the time and the patience to upload it, put them into the file I want them to, name them. I have a hard time right now. What I'm trying to do is when I take pictures of molts for spermatozoa or ventral pictures, I forget to actually name the photo. So when I'm going through my ventral file, which I can do on my phone because that's pretty easy, when I go to the file, it's ventral, and I pop up a picture to find out what it is, and I look at the details and I forget to name it, then I get mad because now I'm not quite sure what spider it is. So I have to kind of guess based on what I know about them, and then I have to go back over my molt records to find out, what spider molted in that relative general area. The problem I had is when I transferred everything off the phone that you're seeing me into my new phone down here, um, the app that I use, the Tarantula app, I had thought I had uploaded it to the cloud off of here, but I didn't. When I got, because this phone here came with a plug that can plug this phone into that phone, and then it transferred all the information over. So I thought that all that stuff came with it, but it didn't. So when I opened up my Tarantula app for the first time, I said, okay, I want to back this up right now to the cloud, and I didn't realize that what I backed up was not all the information that I had. There were a bunch of tarantulas that were missing off the list. All my molt records were gone for most of them. My when I got them in was gone for most of them. So I kind of screwed myself in that aspect. So my goal over this summer is to try and get all my ventral pictures named and then put a watermark on them with the name of the spider, so I know exactly what spermathecae looks like for a certain spider at a certain size, so that I can help people, sex their tarantulas a lot easier. We had an Aphonopelma simoni. This came up the other day on our group. The picture was put on, and everybody, myself included, was saying female. Even Gar from Predator Prey Online said female. Oh, it's definitely female. And one person said, well, it kind of looks like male accessory organs. So we're like, okay, well, how big is a spider? Spider's 4.5 inches. At 4.5 inches, a spermathecae and uterus externus should be pretty visible on just about any spider. And we didn't see what we needed to see as far as female. We figured, a 2.5 inch spider, yeah, that looks like female. Well, it wasn't. And we double checked with Stuart Longhorn to make sure, and he said, yeah, definitely 100% male. So there was probably like 15 of us that got that wrong, and only one person out of that 15 got it right. So that's what I'm trying to do, is log pictures. So it's easier for me to, when someone puts a picture on the Facebook group, it says, can you sex, this is my C hottie that molted, blah, 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 a couple days ago. It's about 2 inches long. I can go back to pictures of mine when she was 2 inches and see what the spermathecae look like, and then I can help better get a better ID for people. I mean, it's generally it's not all that difficult if people do the pictures the right way. A lot of people don't do the pictures the right way. You know, again, this is a video that I'd like to do. It's a matter of filming it and the angle that I need to film it at, because it would have to be you seeing me do something, but I need the room to do it. So I need a bigger camera with a wider area to be able to film in, and I can't do it with this phone in this room. I would have to do it out in my kitchen, which means that everybody would have to be gone, out shopping or somewhere for me to do, you know, how to properly take pictures of molts to make it easier for people to sex them. A lot of people like to just take a picture, you know, with a flash, without a flash, whatever it may be, just looking straight down the molt, and that's not the best way to do it. The best way to do it would be to put some type of light underneath of a piece of paper, or I use like a small foam, something that's thin, put the molt on it, pin it, and then put a light underneath it, take a picture that way, because the light coming up through makes everything visible. Where a lot of times when you're forward facing light going down, it creates too many shadows and you don't get a visualization of what you see. I'll do a video of the differences between what it looks like forward facing with the camera, and then what it looks like straight with a light from behind it. That's the best way to do it. Yeah, I don't know what happened to tropical full site. That's kind of odd. Yeah, I have 4 Poecilotheria right now, Ian, but within a few weeks I'm only going to have the one. I'm sending 3 of them to someone that just absolutely, her life is about Poecilotheria, so, and I'm not all that into them. So it's just, they're all small still, the ones that are going to her, but I don't have any intentions of breeding them other than my Sapusca, so there's no reason for me to keep something just because, you know, it's going to look kind of cool, or you know, something that I'm very limited on my interest. I'd rather have something that I'm more interested in taking up space on my shelf than something that's, you know, I have it because it's a Poecilotheria. That's just not me. I don't want to do that anymore. No, you just drive, don't type. Just listen. I don't know what it's doing here right now. It was supposed to snow, but it didn't. It's cold, but it didn't snow. I thought you said you can't type. Now you're typing. So at 4:13 you said I can't type, I'm driving. At 4:14 you typed I'm enjoying Holly's tour. I swear to God, you better not be typing while you're driving. Yeah, good to see you, Ian. Glad you stopped in. Yeah, the speed's there, but even a Avicularia can be fast. They just generally don't, but they can be. It's the unpredictability more than the speed, really. You know, we're losing our. You guys need to put this on the group so people come in. I didn't even think about sharing it anywhere. I'm getting hungry. Yeah, yeah. Share it. Well, I don't. Yeah, you could share. I don't know how many people come in from the YouTube community group, but you might get a couple people come in. I don't know. I don't know if we put it on the tarantula community, if people will come from there or not. I put it on there. I had someone put it on there a couple times. I never really got any of the members from over there to come in. A lot of people don't like YouTube. A lot of people think it's a joke, and people that are more experienced keepers, because there are a lot of people that do YouTube videos that they're doing it just for them, you know, not really for other people, to help other people, and you know, informational videos. You just don't see a lot of them. Yeah, it takes a little while, to be honest with you, Jack. I have two Armenia right now. One I don't trust. The other one is kind of, she's more visible, so she's out, so her movements are a little bit easier to tell. Um, but the other one has made dirt curtains, and you really can't see her down where she's at. So I never know where she's going to come out of. It's when you can see them, it's a little bit easier. But when you can't see them, and Armenia are ones that you don't see very often. So I mean, if you had to get a, if you were thinking about getting a simultaneous and you wanted a bridge, you know, because you want to keep something that's, a little bit more high strung than a vicularia, I still would recommend simultaneous pulcher, or I would think about maybe an iridipelma hieristum. Um, that would be another one that's a little bit more uh, quicker. Um, the venom's not really that much different than a vicularia's, but they are a little bit more harder to handle. And Carabina lata is another one. They are a little bit more of a handful as well. Let's see what else we have. Semmelpace pulcher is another one that you can. Did I say that already? Yeah, Semmelpace pulcher. Uh, there was another one that popped into my head. Now it's gone. I can't think of what it is now. Yeah, so think about iridipelma hieristum. The problem with them is they're not easy to find. There should be pulchers available around. Carabina latas, they're not a ton of them around either, so they're a little bit more difficult to find. If I think of some more that'll pop into my head, I'll relay them to you. But yeah, well, yeah, I mean, I haven't been around a ton. I mean, I was when I was a kid, so yeah. I mean, I was around a bunch of them, just ones out in the yard and stuff, like they're out in the woods or wherever we go try to catch them. But yeah, they are a little bit more predictable with their movements, and because they're all similar. Where tarantulas they can vary, um, and I was surprised at how quick my Euapolatrus campostratus can move for a bulky terrestrial spider. She can move. Um, the LP, same thing. They can move, and you don't expect it because they're big and bulky. But those 8 legs move pretty damn quick. So, and I think they're. I mean, slings they're a little bit less. They're harder to predict. They're even worse because slings are kind of on that. You don't know what they're going to do. How you doing, Lori? No, that's okay. You don't have to apologize. Yeah, I would. Okay, so I have a Marshalli and I have a Darlingi, and I have the Sanderi and I have a Brachycephalus. I don't know what's available to you guys over there. Darlingi would be my recommendation. I just find they're just a little bit less high strung than Marshalli are. Um, Not to say that they won't bolt, but they're a little bit more. I don't think that there is. I don't want to say defensive because that's not what I'm looking for. There's just something about the Marshalli and the Darlingi that they're just a little bit different. So I always would go Darlingi first between the two of them. Marshalli are darker, so they're a little bit more eye. They're both gorgeous spiders, by the way. So you really can't go wrong with either one. But if I had to recommend one, I would look into the Sanderi or the Brachycephalus. My Brachycephalus are very, very predictable. They're very easy to read. They're visible. They get their horns pretty quick. Both of mine got theirs pretty quick, and my Sanderi is territorial. So I've never worried about that one running out of its enclosure at all. I've sat here with it open for 10, 15 minutes at a time, watching it try to decide whether it wants to eat or not. I don't feel the same way with my Marshalli. That one I'm a lot more hesitant with. I just think it's just more of an unpredictable species than some of the other ones. But yeah, I don't see that there being a problem. It's again, you're mature enough to know the care and to know when you need to get questions answered, or um, what you should and shouldn't do. So I don't think there'll be a problem. Yeah, I think that's part of it. Part of slings is survival instinct, and I think that's, we were talking about this in our admin chat yesterday about slings, and people. These are the people that I call elitists, the people that downgrade people because their spiders die. Um, for whatever reason, they always want to blame the person every single time. It's always the person, no matter what. The husbandry could be spot on, and they did something wrong somewhere somehow. They sprayed something, or they tracked something in, or they didn't give it enough humidity, or they didn't give it enough substrate, or they didn't feed it enough, or they fed it too much, or whatever it may be. There's people just want to blame other people all the time, when in reality, uh, a couple of us talked about this, and honestly, I just think that, granted, they have a ton of babies in the wild, and the reason they have a ton of babies is no different than sea turtles, because a lot of them get picked off. They get eaten, they die, they're just weak. There's some of them that are just born weak, and they may only have a molt or two in them before they pass away. And I don't get, I mean, I don't like when spiders die that I own, especially ones that I paid for, or ones that were given to me. Especially, it's even worse when someone gifts you a spider and it only lasts a couple weeks. That's really disheartening. But um, you have to resign the fact that there's going to be times when spiders just die for no reason. They just die because they were supposed to. That's it. That's all there is. They didn't have the 10, 15, 20 molts given to them. They only had two or three. I think it's no different than people. That there are young kids that die at a very young age, unfortunately, but it's just the way it goes. So, yeah, they slings are a little bit more. Everything's prey to them, or not prey. Everything's a predator to them. I see it with my Avicularia ironensis and my Marinade. The minute I open the enclosure lid, they want to go all the way down to the bottom. My Hierstum, on the other hand, is a little bit more defensive and wants to run. So, a lot of it has to do with species, but there are still, there's still so many slings that are just going to die for no reason. It's just going to happen. And unfortunately, when you have more, when you have a larger collection, then they die more frequently on you, and people are like, oh, how could you have that many spiders die in a matter of a week and a half's time? And because I had a handful, and one that was a captive bred, or not captive bred, wild caught, the Sevon Worthy, the one I got in the fall at the Erie show. It ate okay, but never gained any weight. It never got any bigger. It was captive, not captive. Again, I keep saying captive. It was a wild caught female, and she passed away when I was going through the colitis flare. And as a matter of fact, I looked at her. I tried feeding her. She had no interest. I knew she wasn't molting. Her abdomen was just tiny and skinny. No matter what I did with her, it didn't make a difference. I sprayed her, made it nice and moist and damp in there, and then she would come out of her burrow because she didn't want it that wet down there. So I let it dry out. She'd go back down there. I tried feeding her. It just didn't work out. So people have, you go through things. You go through things in your keeping experience, and you just have to learn. Just do the best that you can. I don't even know what I'm talking about right now, to be honest with you. Yeah, we got to get more people in here. Usually I'm behind on the comments. Now I'm waiting for comments. I have a dresser drawer full of cork bark that I need to go through and check out. I need to cut some pieces to make some hides for some smaller spiders, and I have a hard time. You can find the big cork tubes that are long, and even some that are this big, but I have a hard time finding the small ones that are real thin. I had one or two, and I can't find. I used it for a spider a while back, and I took it out, and now I can't for the life of me figure out where I put it. That's another problem with having all this stuff. Yeah, I put stuff someplace and I can't remember where it is. Looks like she's out. Flashlights are handy. Well, that sucks. This way. No, she's back down in her burrow. My OBT female was out in all her glory today until I tried to take a picture this morning, and as soon as I took the lid off, she was right back down in her burrow. I thought she was out again. Her and my sea hottie, that female, she was out this morning. I want to get pictures of her, and the minute I put a light over top of her, she took it back down. I don't think she's going to drop another egg sac. Oh, I'm so disappointed in her. Yeah, people are hard, and the funny thing is that a lot of the people that really get on other people, they don't really talk about their stuff much. Um, they don't show a lot of pictures of their stuff. They don't show pictures of their enclosures. They don't talk about, well, I had an egg sac and there was 250 babies, but only 10 of them made it. They're not going to tell you that. They're never going to tell you that. How you doing, paranormal? Yeah, so it's kind of, it's disheartening that people are that way, but that's the way people are. Yeah, people are crazy. It's weird, that the problem, I can tell you the problem with hot water is hot water dissipates pretty quickly, so it gets cold quick. I would be more apt to, there's a way to make like a small heat thing with a candle. I can't remember what it's called. But you have to use like a terracotta pot, and then the candle sits on something, and the pot sits over top of it, and the heat goes up in it, and it, after it fills it up, it distributes it out. That would be the way that I would go. Would look up something like that. But yeah, people are just relentless on why they need to act the way they do with other people is unreal. It's not just hobbies either. I mean, it's not just animal people. It's people in knitting groups and stuff like that. Everyone has an opinion, and there are people that if you don't like their opinion or follow their opinion, they just want to ride you for some reason. I don't know. Yeah, an oil lamp would work. Um, there's other things. You could use hand warmers. Depending on how many you have too. Like for me, it would be kind of difficult because they're kind of spread out. But if you only have a handful, you put them in an aquarium. You put them on underneath. Put the aquarium upside down over top of them, with um, heat on the outside of it somehow, or you make an insulation box that will work too. Or you just put insulation around, or get an insulator. Or, what do you want to call that? Like the coolers that are just made of insulation. Those are good because you could put like hand warmers in there, put them in there, put the slings or the spiders in there, and close it up, and they'll stay warm in there. But again, it all depends on what you have, what they're in, how many you have. So yeah, it's kind of tough. It's kind of tough. Oh, absolutely. That's 100%. People always talk to people completely different than they would in person. That's just the way it is. That keyboard warrior, you could just type and type and type and type because it's easy. So you could say whatever it is you want to say. Stuff that probably people would like to say to other people, but would never do it. Yeah, well, I try to be, Trace, as much as I possibly can. There are people that I am judgmental of, though, to be honest with you. There's people that have tried to help that, you know, there's been a couple people that I've tried to mentor the best I could because they just continually would say stupid stuff on the groups and stuff that wasn't right. And they've only been in the hobby for a couple months, and they're trying to do sex IDs and ventral sexing, and they were wrong like all the time. And I would send them a message, hey, listen, I don't really particularly care what you say, but everything you're saying is pretty much wrong. I can help you if you want, but you have to hold back. And they're like, okay, yeah, yeah. So they're asking you 100 questions a day, and then you answer them, and then they do the complete opposite of what you tell them anyway. And then I kind of just wash my hands and say, okay, well, you're not going to listen to me, so I'm not going to deal with it. And it gets tough for, again, there's a bunch of people that are like me that would be more than happy to give advice and time to help people. But it gets to a point where it also gets really, really inundating too. And I know that like the other day, there were 35 people that messaged me in one day, 35 different people. And when I woke up, there were 16 private messages from people. And then throughout the day, 17, 18, 19 other people had messaged me for a question about this, or, hey, did you know this is going on in your group? Or, people that just randomly ask me if I'm selling spiders. I don't know. But it gets crazy sometimes. And then you get to the point where, like, okay, I need to shut off. And I'll only talk to a couple people after that. There'll only be a handful of people that I will continue to talk to. After that, it gets crazy, very, very crazy. No, actually, Rach, I'm not. I never get sick of people's questions when they're willing to learn or they want to learn, and you know they're not running to a bunch of other people and asking the same questions. If you trust what I tell you and you do it and it works, then great. If I tell you to do something it doesn't work, and you want to go to somebody else, that's great. I'm not saying that I want to monopolize people, but I've had too many people that they come and ask me questions, and then they go and ask 5 or 6 other people questions, and then then they come back to me and say, well, this person said this. Why are you saying that? I'm like, why would you ask me if you've already asked this person? It doesn't make any sense. So I don't mind. I talk to Tracy all the time. I don't mind talking to you. I used to talk to Vic all the time before he was so busy with all his move stuff. And sometimes it's every day. We have the admin chat for our group, so there's, generally there'll be 50, 60, 80, or 100 unread messages that I need to read from them because they're night owls where I'm asleep by 9 o'clock, but 9 or 10 o'clock, try to anyway. So I have to get caught up on all that stuff to make sure I'm not missing anything, or I need to be aware of anything that's going on in the group during the day, while a lot of them are at work or sleeping. But yeah, like I said, the other day it was 16 messages when I woke up from 16 different people, and that didn't include the group chat for the Tarantula community group. So it was a little bit difficult trying to keep up, and it was, again, I'm doing a project at work, so I don't have the downtime that I was, so I'm trying to answer people, and I kind of got tired of it, really, to be honest with you. That day, I just like, okay, I'm done. It was like 11 o'clock in the morning. I was like, I'm done. I'm not answering any more questions. I'll wait till later on. And generally, but I'll just say, I was just so busy. I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to talk to you earlier. But some of them are like hurry up questions, and I didn't read them. So I hope you got your answers. But yeah, it gets kind of tough to get a bunch of messages. Oh, I don't want to be in demand. I try to be accessible as much as I can, but um, when I'm in demand, that means that there's pressure on me, and I don't want that. No, no, Rach, you don't ask too many questions. There can't be too many questions. Let's put that. I may not answer them right away, but there is never too many questions, and it's better to ask questions and be unsure than not ask questions and do something that's wrong. That's the way I see it. And again, I've told people a million times. I had people like myself that when I really started 4.5 years ago, doing this big time, that I went to, and there's still some people that I still go to. But so I had met someone that kind of mentored me and took me in, and she kind of showed me the ropes online, and helped me with anything I need help with. And Um, so I don't mind doing it for other people either, because I know that that person took a lot of time. And it wasn't just me that she was answering questions for. There was bunches and bunches of people. So I don't mind doing it. It's just a matter of making sure that I have the time to do it, and give everybody the right information as well. Yeah. Well, I'll answer that for you, Lori. The reason that you don't get a lot of people that have been in the hobby for a long time, that have a lot of experience that are answering questions is because I'm gonna try to say this as delicately as possible. There's a lot of new people in the hobby that believe that they know what they're talking about. So let's just say I'll use Tracy as an example because she won't mind. Tracy has a spider that she's had for a year, and she's had it on aspen shavings and no hide, and there's like 30 crickets running around inside there. And it's a, I don't know, we'll just say Grammastola rosea. So she posts the picture on a YouTube group, or not YouTube group, but a Facebook group, and says, "Oh, I'm looking for advice on my spider. Um, you know, is there anybody that can give me some advice?" And what's really happening is they're not saying, "Can anybody help me with their spider?" They're saying, "I need attention. So can a bunch of people yell at me for the way I'm keeping my spider?" That's exactly what happens. I'm telling you right now, it happens way too much. So the people that have experience that try to help this person over the course of the last 5, 10 years, these people have shied away from answering questions because what they get is, it's been like this for a year and it's perfectly fine. So, I don't need 6 inches of substrate or a hide or a water dish. I've been keeping this spider this way and it's still alive, so I must be doing something right. That's when you get discouraged and you don't want to help people anymore. I've been there. I've been there a few times when I've dealt with people like that, and you really get to a point where you're like, okay, you know, I really don't want to help anymore. I'm just going to sit back and read. That's all I'm going to do. But yeah, yeah, I try to be as accessible as I possibly can, as I possibly can. Yeah, there's times, Jack, that I've lost my shit with people. Trust me, uh, lots of times. I you know I can agree with you in a certain point, paranormal, but I think that's also detrimental because there are groups where there's a lot of people that are willing to help. It's a matter of personality, and it's a matter of yourself. So we'll just use my personality. I have I'm pretty passive and laid back, but I can get heated pretty quickly. So I go to a Facebook group. We'll use the tarantula community, and I want to ask a question because I don't know the answer to it. And the first person that responds back to me is someone that says, "Google it. Why didn't you just Google it? Why didn't you do your research? Why did you buy the spider without blah blah blah?" And my response, being sarcastic and a smartass, would be, "Well, that's why I came here. I came here to get a question. Someone gave this spider to me. Now I need to know how to take care of it." Everybody just assumes you go out and buy stuff on a whim, and who cares really? Honestly, who cares if they go out and buy stuff on a whim? The groups are there to help people, and it's finding the right group. But there are still a bunch of people in the groups that are good groups that are pain in the asses. That's all there is to it. But I don't know that I would say that that's it may be the best option for some people is just stay away from groups. But I think the groups help a lot of people. I think they're more helpful than they're harmful by a lot. Yeah, that would be my guess. I can't believe that they don't have potting soil. That's pretty odd. My Walmart's got a bunch in, and I wanted to get that Burpees cocoa core that I used last year, but they don't seem to have it. What they have is, the bricks that you get for cocoa fiber. The small little bricks that are about yay big. You get three of them in a thing. Well, they have an organic cocoa core one now at Walmart. It's about this big. It's huge, but I don't want something that big because then I have to put it with water, and I have to put it in a big tub, and that's not what I want to do. So um, I like my cocoa core, so I'm trying to find a place that I can order it in like a big, huge bag because I'm done. I don't have any more of the burpee cocoa core left, and I really, really like that. And I want to mix that in with the jungle mix and some of my spiders, but I haven't found any yet, and that's kind of depressing. I'm not real fond of some of the potting soils that I've used. from Walmart, even at Home Depot and Lowe's, because they dry so quickly. And when they dry, they're nothing but dust. And I don't like when you have an enclosure that's this wide and you fill it up with dirt, you pack it down, it's nice and even, and then 3 months later, the substrate starting to pull away from the sides. But that drives me crazy. I've not found that with the Burpee's Cocoa Core or this jungle mix yet. So that's why I'm leaning towards those two. My Walmart doesn't have sand yet either. I've yet to see a Walmart in my area that's got sand. Yeah, some people aren't made for it, Jack. To be honest with you, whether it's bipolar or OCD or whatever, just social anxiety or anything like that. Some people just aren't made to be able to do that. I've got much more tolerant over in this group with Amy, because she's so she preaches kindness more, and so we kind of go out of our way. I mean, I'd like to be sarcastic a lot more than I do, because there's some people that I'd really like to let have it, but I refrain from that, and I try to be on other groups. I also try to be good too, because I don't think it's professional. It's not a professional. It's not, non-professional. Let's put it that way. If I preach something in my own group, and then I act completely different in another group, I don't think that that's right. I mean, every now and then you go and you troll something or just try to be funny, but I try to be helpful everywhere I go. But I've left a lot of groups because of that, because I've wanted to do nothing more than just go into those groups to vent my frustrations from not being able to in a group that I run. So I've left those groups. So I tend not to go to too many. There's only a couple here or there that I actually go to and check out, because I'm spending so much time on the one that I'm at, and then the one that I made for the Arachnids YouTube group, for people that do YouTube videos that are just arachnids. Just because of the trench of the YouTube community group was going in directions all over the place, and I didn't know where it was going, and I felt that another group needed to be made that was more geared to help people, because that's originally what that YouTube community Facebook group was for, and it got away from that. It got a handful of people that got real popular, and the help went away. And again, I'm not saying this to be mean, but late last year, middle of last year, there were a ton of brand new UK channels that joined there, and what happened is there was a bond that was formed in all those, and everybody else was, I don't want to say on the outside, but everybody else was, I almost felt sometimes unwelcome in that group, which was odd, because I mean, I started it actually with Exotic Slayer. So yeah, it kind of got weird. It was a lot of UK channels that had like 200 subscribers or less, and they wanted all this help, they expected all this help from people, and some of the larger channels just got tired of listening to it, and they didn't want to be involved in that group anymore, and it's just gone off in a tangent. And then the admin team changed a little bit, and there were a little bit more of agendas. There were just some small agendas that a lot of people saw. People that had the agendas didn't want to believe that that's what was going on, but many people saw it. So I made the other one, the Arachnids. Was it Arachnids YouTube Creators, or I think Arachnid YouTube Creators group. It's very small right now. I haven't really put a lot into it. I think there's maybe 20 people in it. But I'd like to get that moving too. It's just, again, I don't have the time, so I need a couple moderators that'll get that group moving a little bit. So I'll be looking for that here in the near future. Yeah, I like that too, Trey. So when people come to me with oh my God, I have an emergency, what should I do? I mean, I kind of like that, because like I said, I do like helping people. But I do like helping people I like a lot more than people that I really don't particularly care for. Yes, Lori, they do. Trust me, they do. I mean, there's someone on YouTube right now that's doing videos of stuff that she knows is completely wrong just to get people to view her videos and leave her a bunch of very, very mean comments. And she's laughing at everybody. Honest to God, she's laughing at everybody, and people keep going there. And I mean, she put out a video that had 300 or 400 or 500 views in 2 or 3 days, and I'm struggling to get that many in like 4 or 5 weeks of a video being put out. So well, you know what, Jack? Many people kept stuff that way, spiders that way. I mean, the first one we got, which was like 15, 16, 17 years ago. Let's see, the twins are 17, they're going to be 18, so they were two, so we'll just say 15 and a half years ago. Of course, we went to a exotics pet store, and they gave us a lowdown, aquarium, a little bit of cocoa fiber in it, and a cocoa hut, and get a box of crickets every 2 weeks, put the box in there, and open it up, let the crickets run free, and they never even say anything about a water dish. So that's the way we kept it for a while. Then I changed it from there to sand, and that was, again, we didn't know, Online wasn't really big, so there wasn't any place to really search this stuff.
Just me and you.
Oh, okay.
You need to get something?
What are you gonna get?
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna get fish from Wendy's.
Oh, can I have a chicken?
Wendy's?
Yeah.
Regular? What kind?
Just a regular, what I always get, crispy chicken with cheese.
Crispy chicken?
Yeah.
I was coming out from the ice cream place, and a car that came out looked exactly like yours. They let me out, and I thought it was you. Because when I waved, they were just like,
If it was me, I wouldn't let you out.
that's kind of rude.
That's
Not
the way I
alive.
am. Hmm?
We're alive.
Yeah, you're on live.
So they all know how much of a jerk you are.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Good. She good in you?
Yeah, you can, I mean, if everyone's gone, she can just leave the door open. And she can go as she pleases. Oh, yeah, 80s, a bunch of bad advice, absolutely. Yes, West Coast Exotics, that was the girl. And I think she's still doing videos, and she's still doing them the same way, and people are still watching them, people are still commenting on them, and I told everybody, literally, I said, if you leave her alone, stop giving her the attention that she's craving, she will go away. If you continue to give attention to somebody that craves attention, they're going to keep coming back for more. And that's exactly what she's doing. Yeah, she is. I think she's sometimes is, and I think sometimes she's just pretending too. Well, Jack, it's kind of funny that you brought that up, actually, because it is very ironic, right? Um, Now, let's go to the mystery box. I'm not from the UK. We don't have a lot of people that do them here. Pelt Friction's doing them, but you could pretty much give them a list of stuff that you would want in your box, depending on how expensive it is, or I mean, if I was getting a mystery box from Pelt Friction, I would be like, African, do me up an African box and send it to me. Whatever you got in there, other than S. calciatums and H. max. You throw me some African stuff, I'm gonna be perfectly fine. Okay, but the UK, you guys are crazy over there with these mystery boxes. I don't know how all of the vendors are, but I'm sure a lot of them will kind of give you, okay, what are you looking for? I know the spider shop would be like, okay, give me an idea of what you would like, or things that you definitely don't want would be more, I think, a better way of doing mystery boxes. Look at my site. I'm gonna do a mystery box. Okay, so I'm gonna order a mystery box of African spiders, but I go on their site and I'll be like, okay, I don't want H. max, I don't want L. calciatum, so anything else. Somebody may just get a mystery box and say, okay, I just want $100, whatever your pounds, I guess, what the L100. I don't understand the whole pound and quids and all that stuff. I don't want to, but yeah. So you order a mystery box and you do YouTube videos. Okay, so you open the mystery box online and you get stuff. And, oh, I've never had this before. I've never had this before, which means that you've not done research on that spider. But then, yes, the next video you're chastising or you're going to a group and you're saying you should do your research before you have spider. This is what's called. I don't know the actual terminology, but I'm going to say, it's the whole do as I say, not as I do kind of deal. Of course, as parents, that's what we do with our children, right? We tell our children not to do this, not to do that, do this, but you listen to me. But if I do it, it's different because I'm an adult. So yes, that happens way too often, and I find irony in that all the time. We just had somebody the other day on a group that went ballistic on somebody as far as this information, and they're not keeping their spider right. This is why you're continually killing spiders. And in the next sentence, somebody with experience is talking to this guy about this spider, and there was a question presented by myself to this person, and asked which locale of this certain spider do you have, and they're like, I don't fucking know. I don't know. I'm like, okay, you are professing that you know everything about everything, and you're giving all this information, you're chastising people, but there's only 3 locales for this one species. You don't know it, but you want to breed it. That's the problem I have. Okay, so yeah, that happens way more than it should. I mean, like way more than it should. So yeah, it is odd, and people don't. Sometimes I think people don't even realize that they do it. To be honest with you, it's just their nature. It's their character. Okay, so I'm going to correct you, but I'm going to do the same thing. So there's a guy in the tarantula hobby. Many people don't like him. And most of the people that don't like him are people that have been in the hobby for a long time, because this person came in and thought that he was going to take over, continually is sarcastic, makes jokes. Okay, a lot of people don't read what he says as jokes. A lot of people do. They get his way of speaking. So he's been in less than a year. He's bred some stuff. He's bought some, the adult females and males pairs and bred them. Very easy species. A couple more difficult ones. I was actually kind of impressed by that, but he's just a jerk constantly, and his humor is bad. It's humor that you just wouldn't say to people. Abusive. I'm not saying racist, because that's the last thing that this guy is, but it's just some of the stupid things that he says, and he doesn't get it. Okay, he doesn't get it. He wants to be accepted, but he doesn't get it, because he thinks that he needed to be given respect from the first day that he walked into this. He never earned it. Okay, he didn't earn it from people. Matter of fact, he's negative respect with a lot of people. So he eventually worked his way out of our group, and so he goes on another group and talks about how it's not him, and it's not what he says. It's not his jokes. It's how he looks, and this is a cry for attention from people, and it's very, very easy to see if you are an intelligent person. You can see through people and see that, okay, this is just absolute desperation, and all they want is attention. You'll get a lot on our group, a lot, and I don't mind the posts. I really don't. People will be like, oh, I was sick for the last 2 days. Can you just flood me with pictures of your spiders? Or, my poor spider died, and you get 35, 40, 50, 60, 70, 100 people that'd be like, oh, I feel bad for you, poor, and that's great that we are, empathetic towards people. But it really is just, in the end, cries for attention. That's really what it boils down to, is people want to be seen. They want to be liked. They want to be a part of something, and whatever that reason is, whether it's the way that they were raised as children, the way that their marriages, social problems, mental problems, depression, anything that's nature. But when you have people that will continually downgrade those people, it makes it worse. Why we can't just let people have fun with their hobby, I don't understand. If you want to feel bad because your spider died and you want to post a picture of it online, be my guest. I don't see why we have to say we shouldn't see this stuff in the group. we don't want to deal with this stuff in this group. Well, first of all, it's not your group. You know, we have 10,200 and some odd members in 13 months' time in this group. That speaks volumes for the group. I don't think that any group has grown that quickly. Maybe some of there's groups that are trying to grow on the heels of other groups. Not mentioning any names, but I don't know. I mean, I really honestly don't know. But Jack, you were completely 100% right. When people tell you to do things, but then they do it themselves. I think that was the problem with Taylor Nicole Dean, right? She was saying, do your research, do your research, do your research, and then she goes and just buys something without ever researching and not even knowing what she bought. You know, she's like, well, then blames everybody else but herself. And that happens all the time. It's happened with some very, very prominent tarantula YouTube people. They've done stuff. They don't want to take the blame for it. They pass it off on something else. Listen, if I screw up, I'm going to tell you I screwed up, because you're not going to learn by me passing the blame on somebody else. You're going to learn by me saying, hey, you know what? I killed that spider because I didn't pay attention to it. I didn't water it. I didn't do whatever it may be. You know, it's an Asian species. It was kept dry. Whatever the reason may be, I'm going to tell you, because I think it's important. I think it's very important. So, yeah, now you got me all fired up, Jack. I mean, as fired as up as I can be, but yeah, I completely understand what you mean. The YouTube group, well, it is, Trace. I was thinking about doing another group with, you know, maybe we can, I don't know. The basis for that group were there were one or two people that got together, and we were a little upset with the way things were going on the tarantula YouTube community. So we decided we wanted to do a private group that was by invite only, people that want to help others, people that can help with technical things, give advice. You know, like we'll take Rachel. She could go to that group and then ask questions that people will be, you know, more than happy to answer. Now she could do that on the other group as well. So I'm not saying that that group isn't helpful, but there's no cliques in this group. There's no favoritism. I'm going to use the word favoritism because that's a good one. There's not people that are only looking out for certain people and not everybody in the group. You know what I mean? So I would help every single one of those persons the same exact way as I would help Rachel and Sophie. No differently. And I think that got away from the YouTube community Facebook group. It got way away from that group, and you know, other people feel the same. You know, I'm still a member there, just because a lot of people that I do talk to aren't members of the other group yet, and I'm trying to make sure that I don't want cliques. That's what I don't want there. I don't want people that are just only going to communicate with each other. And this is what I found. And again, I'll be upfront with you guys. Anybody that's in the YouTube Tarantula community group, I found a lot of times when I post a question or a statement or a request for video clips for a collab video or whatever, I may get 2 or 3 comments. And then another person that's a UK person will come and say the same exact thing and get 25 or 30 comments. So that's where I always say, and I understand the people in UK are much closer together than we are here in the United States. But I almost don't understand why that doesn't spill over to other people too. You know, it's almost like we have this little group of people that's in this round circle, and we created this big huge thing on YouTube, and you know, everybody should be, you know, all together in this little thing, and we can't have our own opinions, and that's my problem. And it was with Andrew from Andrew's Exotics, the same thing. We are both very opinionated people. We both want everything to be on the up and up all the time. You know, not speaking of Fatal Fangs was just a complete mess from day one, but everything, you know, okay, let's say we'll use Rachel. I hope you don't mind. Rachel posts on the Tarantula YouTube community group, hey, Sophie wants to do this video, you know, is there anybody interested in do it? And she'll get 25 or 30 people that'll say yeah. Now I'm surprised that she got less than what I expected her to get for her video that she's doing a 10 question Q&A. I thought there would be more people that want to be involved, but Um, you see you see the people that will do things for anybody, and you see the people that will only do things when it benefits them. And there's too much of that in that group. That's that's my opinion. And it got away again. It got away from where that group was intended to be. Uh, I mean, Exotic Slayer got huge, and that group didn't really mean anything anymore. Um, and then other people kind of clung to him, and a couple other people, and then there was just this little tiny click here, and then you had a little bigger click here, and another little click over here, and there were the handful of us stragglers that are like, okay, what, we don't even feel like we belong anymore. Um, I don't want to mention other, I mean, I mentioned Andy's name, but I don't want to mention, oh my God, I broke my little stick. So you got me all fired up. Now I have one little stick and one bigger stick. I have a bag of these somewhere. I don't know where. Yeah, so that's why I created that group. And I had thought about opening it up for fans too, and so that there would be more of a fan uh, interaction. So people could say, hey, you know what? Well, I think Ian's in the group. I'm pretty sure Ian's in the group. I'm not. If he's not, he will be. I'm pretty sure he is, though. Hey, Ian, when are you going to do this next video? And it's a place where everybody could go. So it's a possibility that I might do that. But I'd like to talk to the people that are there first to make sure that everyone's okay with something like that. I don't want to be a dictator of a group. I want it to be, the group needs to be about the people that are in it. So we'll see, Trace. We'll see. I don't really want to make another group, so it would have to happen in that group or not at all. How you doing, Z? I'm a little behind here. Oh wait, where's Xena? Did I miss Xena? Where's Xena? I don't see any comments from her. Yeah, I know you can roll with the sarcastic punches, Trace. How you doing, Sharon? See, I remembered your name. Every time I see your name now, I say it in my head so I don't forget it. Yeah, it did. I mean, it helped a bunch of people, to be honest with you, and it really. Let me try and think of some of the people that all came in the same time. Like Gab's Tarantulas came in, Ian's Tarantulas came in. I think even Tarantula Cave, Martin came in around that time. Um, I think the Invertebrarian, he might have been a little bit longer than that. Sam, Scarlet, there were a bunch of them that all came in together at the same time, and a lot of them were all friends too, or became friends real close too. So that was part of it. And it's a lot easier to become friends with your countrymen than it is with someone from a different country. But yeah, so it did help some people to get moving, and I just wish it stayed that way, and it just kept doing that. It just doesn't seem like that's what goes on anymore. When I open up that group, it seems like the first 5 or 6 posts are nothing but here's my latest video, here's my latest video, here's my latest video. We all want to be subscribed to everybody, so we all should be, I mean, if your notifications are on, even like on my Roku. So if I go to my file of who I'm subscribed to, it'll list all the videos that are there, ones that I haven't seen, ones that I've started to watch and didn't finish watching or whatever. I get that list, so they're all there. But that's what that group has become. It's become just an advertisement for your latest video. And there's not a lot of help that goes on there. There's not a lot of questions being answered, questions asked there. That's what I wanted this other group to be about, but it just hasn't really, I haven't done it. I haven't made it that way yet. We still get the video. I don't mind seeing people say, hey, come and watch my video. I enjoy that because sometimes I miss people that put stuff up. But, yeah, I would like it to be a little bit different. So I may have to play it around in my head and see what I want to do with it. I can't get it to the point where it's crazy because I have so much responsibility in the other group, and I can't have that kind of responsibility in another group. So I'd have to have people work with me, and the one person I want to work with me, she didn't want to do it. So I'd have to come up with something different. So we'll see how things go. Yeah, I don't know what what's going on. Lynn went to Wendy's, I guess, so I'm getting a chicken sandwich. So when she gets back with the food, then I'm going to get off so I can eat, and then I'll start doing my spider stuff that I need to do. So if you're here, you're here. If not, I'll see you later, Rach, and don't be afraid to send more questions. Okay. Oh, you don't have to apologize, JP. There's people who have sponge in their water dishes now, and you could tell people over and over and over again that the reason is you don't want them in there is because they harbor bacteria and they don't get it. They're like, well, I don't want my spider to drown. And when you try explaining to them that a spider won't drown, they can't fathom that. It just gets crazy. So a lot of times I will mention it. If someone says, you know, here's my enclosure, can you give me some information? I'll be like, okay, well, you don't need a sponge, and this is why. People, the reason that you get animosity in the groups and like the original poster will get absolutely upset with people is because they will just say, you get rid of the sponge, you know, that decor is too sharp, your spider could fall and die on it. Get rid of the rock, it's too heavy, if they burrow underneath it'll fall and crush them. All this stuff, but they don't really sit down and explain in a civil manner and say, okay, listen, sponges are something that people have thought they should be using in their enclosures for a long time. They harbor bacteria. You don't want that in your enclosure because it's just going to create mold and some other things. So get rid of that. A shallow water dish, your spider's not going to drown. They will not break the surface tension of the water. So that's really hard for people to understand. So you have to go back to how many people have been to ponds, you know, whoever's still here, you know, you've been to ponds in your life, and you see those little spiders that are all over top of the water, right? They don't break the surface tension. No different than a tarantula. Tarantulas can swim. They could go right over the surface. They're spread out. If they were tall like this, they would sink, okay? But they're spread out like a boat. Why do you think a boat floats? Because it's spread out. If a boat was straight, it wouldn't float, right? Bottles in the water will bob up and down till just a little bit of water get in them, right? Tarantulas can float. So you have to explain all these things to people in ways that will make them think and understand. The problem is there's a lot of people that don't want to think. They just want to be told that what they're doing is great. Oh, your enclosure is just beautiful. Great job. You know, even though your spider's probably going to die because, you know, you don't have water in there, or it's got no place to hide, or you're feeding too many crickets. It's going to be stressed out its whole entire lifetime with 10 or 15 crickets running around there all the time. That was what I went through. I went through it. I did it. You know, I did it back in the early 2000s. So I know. But people don't want to listen to you. Even though you made mistakes, and you could say, listen, I made this mistake. You know, there was a gentleman today that there's an auction going on for a 5 count of Heterothele villicella. It's a species that I want, so I put a bid in on it. And it's a 5 count so that you can keep them communally. This is a small dwarf species from Africa. They're great. They're Tanzanian. They're from Tanzania. And they do wonderful communally. Well, you know, the person said, oh, I would, I mean, he didn't say, like, you shouldn't do this, but he said, other than Monosotropus balfouri, I wouldn't risk any communal. And I was like, well, it's kind of funny because I had a communal of H. villicella, 5 total. 4 ended up being mature males and died, and the female died relatively quickly after the last mature male died. Never had a problem with that, but I had a communal of 5 balfouri that ended up only being 3. So, you know, stuff happens. It's just a matter of what you want to do. And I mean, I get his point. He didn't want to spend money on something and run the risk of losing money by another spider eating another spider. But every time that you buy a sling, you're risking money every single time. That's the way I see it. Every single time you buy a sling, you're risking money. Yeah, that's happened to a lot of people, Jack. I mean, a lot of people have gone through the same thing that you're explaining. What do you mean, JP? Who, when you say she, what's she done now? Oh, the West Coast girl. Yeah, people aren't subscribing to her, but people are going and watching. That's the problem. And here's why. If the people that were watching her videos came to my videos, that would change the algorithm of my channel. So there's more traffic coming to my channel. They promote it more. Okay, so they recommend my channel to other people more. So her channel came up the other day on mine as a recommendation. Why? Because people are going and she's got traffic. Doesn't matter how many subs she has, because YouTube could care two craps about subs. Subs don't mean anything. It's the people that are coming and watching your videos. So they can make their money off of you during the ads by people coming and watching your videos. You take, I don't want to, I hate to say his name because I don't want to have any problems, but Edward Tyndall is a perfect example. He does almost a video every single day. He's got a little over 10,000 subscribers, but his views are small. His video views are small. He just puts out too much stuff all the time. So I've never had him recommended on my YouTube channel, but I've had people recommended that have 200 or less subs because they've had a couple videos that have done really, really well, 5, 6, 7, 8,000 views in a couple of weeks' time. So again, it doesn't make a difference. Sub count only makes a difference for you to get monetized. After that, you just want people coming back to watch your channel. So the misconception of having 10,000 subs means that 10,000 people are going to watch your videos. It does not happen that way at all. There's people that have far less subs than me that their videos do far better than mine view-wise. I was at 2155 subs the other day. I put out the baboon video. I lost 2 subscribers and haven't gained anything back since then. So over the course of the last 3 or 4 days, I lost 2 subscribers. That's it. No one else has come to the channel. So generally, when I put a feeding video out, I'll gain 10 subs or so. I haven't gained crap. It's because I'm not getting the views. So YouTube's like, if you're not getting the views, I'm not gonna promote you. I'm gonna promote other people that are getting the views, and she's one of them that's getting promoted. Yeah, I mean, I don't care. To be honest with you, I don't care what people spend their money on. I really don't. I mean, you're gonna get mystery boxes, but again, this is the part about YouTube that people don't understand because it doesn't enter in their mind when they start doing it. Is that you can be made real quickly on YouTube, but you can get destroyed even quicker by getting too much crap. People realize you're not going to be able to take care of them, that you're only buying stuff because of the channel. That's happened to a lot of people. Giving bad information is huge. There are many people that have a bunch of I'm not going to call them, because a lot of people that have large channels or over 10,000 views or 10,000 subscribers that do fairly well, that their videos, that they could put a video of them going to the bathroom and it would get 10,000 views in a day's time. But there are people that are strict fans of those people. Most of them don't even have tarantulas. They just enjoy watching that person. They don't know. They don't care. The information doesn't make a difference to them. I find it, when people are trying to have fun. Every YouTuber does things differently. Okay. From Exotic Slayer, who's really, really big, down to someone who's just started with 50 subs. Everybody does things differently. And their channel set up the way that they want them and what works for them. There's nothing wrong with that. What I find is wrong is when people, like you say, Jack, profess information or preach to you to do this and then do the complete opposite. That's the part that I can't stand. That and people that are fake. I don't like people that are fake. I don't like people that are standing in front of the camera and pretending like they know way more than what they know, and it's hard. People have gone, on their little. People are. I'm not an expert, okay? I'm far from an expert, but I'm real, and I'm true, and I won't BS you. That's just me. I won't do that. Not on this. It not on my group. It's too valuable and it can be too detrimental. If you want to do a YouTube channel and you want to be somebody different than you really are, there's nothing wrong with that. If that's what you want to do, and you enjoy it, and you can go to sleep at night and sleep all night long and not wake up in the morning with regrets and say, oh, and you know what, I'm just putting on this front. It's like people that go on and do commercials for a product that they don't use just because they want this, and that's what this is, that's what YouTube is, and that's what the people that are doing the videos, 80% of people that do videos are doing it for some kind of value. What I mean, even there's value to me. I mean, there's value for me in doing this too. I mean, I'd like to get paid too. Wouldn't we all? I mean, imagine if I got paid for every question that I answered on Messenger from people that come to me on the groups or come to me from here and say, hey, could you answer this question? Or hey, what would you do here? I'd be a millionaire, But I try to do it here, and that's where I do it. And well, I mean, I haven't even made $150 since I've been monetized last June. I've been monetized since last June, and I have not even made $150. We have people that now that do a video, they're making $150 before the video's 24 hours old. And they realized how to make that money. And, they're using that money to buy, whatever it may be, cameras, new phones, new enclosures, new spiders, new whatever. And great. That's not what I wanted to do this for. There are people that flat out wanted to do this while they're doing this. They're doing it for that reason. And I don't know. I know I'm off on a tangent again because we start talking about. So I'll probably get yelled at again because I'm talking about YouTube channels again. Because I probably should have been a little bit more careful because I was told I was not supposed to say exotic Solaire on anything of my stuff, or Cat or a couple other people didn't want me to mention their names, so I'll have to apologize now to exotic Slayer. I hope I didn't say anything detrimental to anybody because I wasn't picking on him or saying he was doing anything bad. I was just using examples of people that were, very, very successful and have tons of views versus people that are, down the bottom. And what each person does for themselves is what they do for themselves. That's, I'm sure we'll probably have people that are just watching what Dave's doing because, oh my God, Dave's live again. We got to see if he's saying anything bad about us. That just kind of pissed me off. I've had people that want to censor me and say that you shouldn't talk about this stuff. And you know what? Screw you. That's all I got to say is I'm going to talk about what I want to talk about. You don't have to watch it. You don't have to like it. I don't have to like what you do. I don't have to like what anybody does. I'm tired of trying to bend over for people that sit up here, think they sit up here because they have a bunch of subscribers. That's not me. Because trust me, you're no better than I am. Well, yeah, Trace, that's kind of it. I mean, people find excuses for whatever they can, I mean, okay, you were a jerk to these 10 women, and now you're going to go around and say because of how you grew up, that excuses you from what you did. And it's a reason why you do what you do. And I don't buy that because you make a choice every single time that you choose to open your keyboard and type anything. That is a lucid choice that you're doing. Now, people that have bipolar, I mean, there's things that I don't know a lot about bipolar. I just know that some people, and even autism, I think people say things that they really don't mean. But I still, honestly, I don't, because I don't understand it. I don't know how it all works. So, if I'm wrong in saying what I'm saying, if anybody has these issues, please let me know. But I know, like, what's the difference between bipolar and manic? Isn't it basically the same? You're up and then down, and or is it you're mean and then nice? I really honestly don't know, because if that's the choice, if that's what it is, then my wife's bipolar too, because she could be nice one second and mean the next second. I've got, if she ever watched these videos, she'd probably murder me, but I'm just trying to be fun. Lori, we all do, and people that say that they don't are lying. It's just that simple. No, you're fine, Jack. You're perfectly fine. I actually don't mind controversial stuff, to be honest with you. I don't mind talking about controversial stuff on my channel. A lot of people don't like it, and I think a lot of people have stopped really conversing with me or wanting to do work with me because of all that. And I really don't even care anymore. I'm not searching people out anymore. If people want to work with me, they can come to me, and I'll be more than happy to do it. I've volunteered videos for I don't know how many people now, all UK channels. You know, on the transfer YouTube community, they're like, hey, we're going to do this video. Anybody want to do clips? I send a clip. I try to do my part. I've sent to 2 different channels clips, and then 2 clips to 1 channel, and he didn't use my clip on either one. They won't get a clip from me again, and it's the same thing. Oh, I don't know how I missed it. I totally screwed up with Carolina. She sent me a video for my Valentine's Day thing, and again, I thought I put it in there, and I didn't. So I decided that the next video that I did, I was going to add it in there because she took the time to do it. It is a longer video, but when I looked at the size, it was in small size. So whether that was from transferring from her to me, I don't know. But when I put it in with the video and I put it on private and I watched on YouTube, it shrunk my screen. So I had to take it out because I needed those clips to be full size. So I'll try. I want to do a collab video with Carolina. She's one of my favorite female keepers and YouTubers. Her and Shanti are probably my 2 favorite. I enjoy. She's a very down to earth person. She's true and she's real. She's from Sweden, so I just love her accent above and beyond all that stuff. But I like, again, people that are real, and I'm more geared to make friends and talk to people that are real, and I can spot fake pretty quickly because I've been an admin in translate groups for 4 years now, so I can spot fake people pretty quickly. I've been an electrician since I was 19 years old. I'm going to be 50, so 31 years. I know people that pretend to be electricians and get away with it, and people that actually are electricians. It's just not hard to figure out if you really sit down and study people. A lot of people don't. They just want to be, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, you know. And again, I'm sure I'm going to get yelled at again for this, but who cares, right? Who cares? That's probably not good. People are probably like, what the hell is that guy talking about? I think I'm way behind now. Oh my God, I'm like 20 minutes behind in comments. What did you guys do to me? I just went crazy on talking. That's why Jack got me all fired up. I'm gonna blame Jack. Yeah, you know, sometimes, Lori, it's for the best. People just, you know, I mean, people don't want to deal with drama. I mean, I wouldn't not advise not to be in groups, just not to post, you know. You've been doing it for 20 years, so I don't think you really need a lot of help from other people. But hey, Gandalf, how are you? Rach, you know, I mean, it has nothing to do with experience as far as working together on videos. I mean, I'd like to do some funny stuff too. And that, you know, the little thing that we did with Sophie and myself for JP, I liked that. That was a lot of fun. I'm not a great actor, but I think if I did a little bit more things like that, I think it would be kind of interesting. I would love to do something with Soph, and even I think you should get in front of the camera too. I think you both should share the camera a little bit, you know, at least a little bit anyway. Maybe she can be the camera person, and you could be in front of the camera for a little bit. I think that she would probably like that. Yeah, it's not easy though, Trace. You know, I mean, it's really easy to sit down and construct something on paper and how you want things to go, and then it ends up not going that way. We've had a lot of that. part of the sponge also, Jack, wasn't just for the tarantulas, but it was also for crickets. When you feed them, they can extract water from the sponge where um, the tarantulas can't. So, uh-oh, the food's here. So I'm gonna have to go eat. I don't want to eat in front of everybody. Again?
Yeah, let's take food off.
What are they gonna do again? Another water thing? No. I'm gonna keep taping stuff to my door. Okay, so how about if I give you guys 10 more minutes and then we're out and I'll eat and I can do some stuff that I need to get done. Maybe I'll even go see my mom tonight, I don't know. No, I'm scrolling. Yeah, I agree, Sharon. That's definitely, people that are looking for information are usually people that are really serious about the hobby. But they really, really want to know more about the spiders, not just have them. I mean, let's be real. There are a lot of people that have tarantulas just for the show factor, just for the bragging factor. Like, oh, I got 20 tarantulas. Ooh, let's go check them out. You could say it at work or whoever. I mean, it happens. I knew somebody that had tarantula back in the day, and he used to put it in his mouth all the time, and until it urticated his lips, and his lips just blew up like a balloon. It was kind of funny, actually. Yeah, that's what I wondered, Jack. I wondered, you have impulses, but I mean, I have impulses too, to be able to just say stuff, and I have to stop. I really do have to stop myself and say, okay, I can't say that. I got to say this differently. Yeah, Tarantula Shanties, she's got good stuff. She's changed her channel a lot. It's done a 360 from when she started, or 180, I guess you'd say, from when she started to what she's doing now. But I don't think she's put out a video in a while. I'm gonna have to message her and see if she's doing okay. Nope, we're caught back up. Yeah, it got kind of heated there for a little while. We're slowed back down now, so yeah. I mean, I started the video off with showing off the 5 molts from the females, and oh, Shawnee did a live. I don't know how I missed that. I usually do. Usually have notifications for her. I wonder why I didn't get it. I would have come on and helped her out a little bit. She's a great person. She wants to learn so much, and she wants to be able to pass on information to people. But I do still think there's a little bit things that she feels uncomfortable, and she may get caught in, maybe a question that she's not going to be able to answer. And I remember when she first started doing the video, she was real timid, and I said, you have a great voice, you're a very, very pretty lady. Just be you and relax and be you. And it was the same thing with Andrew. I did the same thing with him. I said, hey, you need to get in front of camera. And I think that his personality and her personality is a lot alike. He's got a lot more comfortable with himself and a lot more confident with himself, and that's really, really cool to see. And Shanti's gone off in a different direction, so I think that's why she's a little bit more reserved now, because she's outside of her comfort zone a little bit. But she's doing real great. I mean, some of her videos are absolutely outstanding, and the amount of work that she puts into her research is phenomenal. Some of the places that she finds the information and the information that she's giving, is just super. But she just doesn't get the subscribers, and it's just a shame because I think she deserves a lot more than she does have. I mean, I've said that a million times. I think Andrew should have more subscribers than I do. I'm sure he'll pass me soon anyway. But yeah, those two channels I enjoyed watching grow, but she's stalled, and I don't know why. You know, I honestly I don't know why, because there's not a video that she's ever done that I've not enjoyed. Yeah, no, she definitely doesn't like crowds. I know she's just like me. She's exactly the same kind of person I am. I think that's why we kind of clicked real easily and real quickly. That she's a problem. I don't know. I mean, you could ask her this question, but I almost want to say she's a female version of me. She may not have the experience with the stuff that I do, but it's the way we are, personality wise. Absolutely, we're pretty similar. We're real similar. Okay, well, I'm hungry. I need to go eat, so I want to go eat. Um, and I want to rehouse this spider. So I appreciate everybody joining in. And what do we get today? 2:26. That's not too bad. 2 hours and 26 minutes. Um, yeah, I don't know what. I mean, I'd like to do more lives. I wish I could do them every day. I mean, I enjoy so much talking to everybody and have fun and answer questions or give information, whatever it may be. But yeah, I'm going to go eat before my stomach eats itself, and we will see everybody soon. And I appreciate all the support that you guys give me all the time, and keep asking those questions. And don't be afraid to send me a message, even if it's just say hi, how you doing. Um, I'm not very good at messaging people first. I think Tracy could probably attribute that. She will message me, and then I'll message her, but I find myself sometimes only talking about my day, and I never, and I don't realize to myself, what these people are coming to me and asking how I'm doing, but I never ask how they are, and it seems like I don't know, I kind of get upset with myself because I'm seeming kind of selfish. So, but yeah, I wouldn't mind talking to more people. So yeah, we'll see everybody later, and you know the drill, happy keeping and all that, and we'll see how March gets through. Hopefully we'll get some small slings next week, and then 6 more in the middle of April. Maybe we'll win this auction to get these 5 H. Villicella, and we'll see you guys all later. Thank you.